Hey, Astro World, welcome back to another Hardwood and AstroTurf talk show, peoples. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. If you are, just leave a like on video, comment something down below. We would definitely like to engage with you guys on some of these topics that we're going to be discussing. But as always, we don't start without figuring out how the Astro Bros doing. So, my boy Ray, third week in a row that we here,
Yeah, man.
or
You
fourth, or
know what it
something like
is.
that.
I even know what it is. I ain't trying to keep track per se. Just trying to be consistent. Put that content as much as possible. We got a lot of
Yeah,
interesting
yeah,
stuff to talk about on a weekly basis in the world of sports, as you would know.
yeah,
We got
exactly.
some exciting things to dive into there. F1, NBA. Just
Hmm.
excited to get into it, and have a heated or not so heated debate about what may or may not be.
You're right, right. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, man.
So,
How
how
you
was the
keeping,
week
man?
though? Like overall? Well, I can let you go first, and then I would say,
Not a bad week. I could say a relatively smooth week.
mhm.
Peaceful for the most part.
That's
Get
good.
to do a little bit of activities outdoors. It's always
Hmm.
good to take the time to just relax your mind a little bit. And
Hmm.
sometimes you don't realize it going on. They just going getting up, going work, doing all these other things in the evening, going back, just putting yourself in the same cycle. So it's good to break that cycle a little bit. Get yourself
Hmm.
maybe in tune with nature or whatever it is that you interested in outside of work or whatever typical activities you had, and do something a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
different. So that was my experience this week, and it was pretty good, man.
It was cool.
How about you?
Mommy eating trail mix.
Trail
I'm watching
mix.
the birds.
Nah, nah, it wasn't that type of journey, but I just use that as an example, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. That was a joke from Elise Sadiq. Shout out to Elise Sadiq. One of his jokes on one of his specials. But anyways,
Mhm.
my week was pretty good, interesting, quiet week compared to the weeks previous.
Uh-huh.
To that, but I guess that was a little bit of a breather and a calm before the storm that's coming up in the next 2 weeks for me
Mhm.
at work. It's getting colder, so
Yeah.
preparing for that as well.
Mhm.
So pretty interesting week. So looking forward to this week coming. And last week in terms of sports, it was good.
Mhm.
This week is set up to be good as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
But
man.
let me jump into this CFM. Let's not waste much more time. Last week we made some predictions.
That's
Start off
typical.
with the NBA ones.
Mhm.
Trailblazers versus Pelicans. It was looking a bit close that game.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
saying.
yeah,
It,
up towards the fourth quarter
yeah, it
or
and
so, and
it,
then
it just
Trailblazers
yeah.
just yeah.
I don't know, man. Like it's so surprisingly. We talking. I know our thumbnail for the video is about the Jazz, but there's another team
Mhm.
that is I would consider in the same bracket as the Jazz with the whole they're kind of surprising everyone. And this is we got to bear in mind
Yeah,
this is without Damian Lillard on the court as
exactly.
well.
Yeah,
Like what's his name? Jeremy Grant had a great game in that game, and
yeah.
I feel like he's an interesting player coming from the Nuggets. He was like one of
Mhm.
those guys, like one of those role players that would be valuable to the team on both offense and defense in a typical way.
Yeah,
He went on to the Detroit Pistons to find a bigger role, and I guess he kind of realized that that is not what would contribute to winning for any team. So I
yeah.
glad to see that he's found another team where he could kind of be like a second or third piece uh, into the whole orchestra of how the players work, and
Right.
that's just a position that suits him the best, and he's excelling in that role right now. I would say, and it's good to
Yeah,
see.
he's definitely coming into form. CJ McCollum also was playing pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean they had pretty much everybody on their team that you would expect to have except Herb Jones, I think. But
Hmm.
I find that this Blazer seem to be full of heart, full of fight. Uh,
Yeah.
Speaking of heart, Josh Hart is one of those guys that embodies that personality. I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
I backing him for the challenge, and he played a
Passion
great
for the
game. Yeah,
game
yeah, the passion for the game.
always
He played a
always
great game
turns
as
out
well.
to be a positive to have
Yeah,
in the team
yeah.
because it's something that kind of gets everyone going. And
Mhm.
once you could get that momentum in the team going,
Yep.
then people start to get hot and you start to get good runs
Mhm.
in the game. Let me move on to Nuggets and Celtics. Your boy Porzingis not really doing a lot there.
Porzingis, you mean
Celtics.
Jokic?
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, he's not doing a lot. Well, I should say he didn't do a lot in this game.
I mean, this game again, this is kind of similar to the Blazers game. It wasn't that big of a lead throughout the game, but there's many.
Hmm.
The Celtics offense just on a totally different level to everybody else.
Yep.
All that,
Jalen
all
Brown
game,
went hot.
look, all game. And then that's not just Jalen Brown. It's just like the 3 point shooting is just on an absolute all time high. Like
Mm.
truthfully, even contested, uncontested, whatever the 3 point shot is, they're making
Yep.
a high percentage and making it hard for the teams to come back in the game because when they get those leads, they just keep extending it. Al Horford had like 6 threes in this game. Al Horford turned into Steph Curry all of a sudden in this game. Also, like come
Yeah.
on, how you really supposed to beat that? Especially given that they still got Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown to
Hmm.
David on a night in and night out basis, and they are putting out at extremely I don't know, potent offensive performances so far for the
Hmm.
season. So
Yeah.
like, and I can't even say anything about their defense. Their defense hasn't been like to shout about it, but like the level at which they're playing offense is just totally like clouding the vision that everything else around it is so phenomenal. I would say, and
Hmm.
they're beating everybody just because of it.
Yeah. Celtics playing really good basketball right
Hmm.
now. It seems like they haven't lost a beat since last season. Like
Hmm.
they've just kept on um growing as a team. Even when other players come in, they adapt pretty quickly because it,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like they had this period where they were trying to figure out things, even with the new additions to the team. So kudos to Celtics, man. Like
Yeah.
they're playing really good basketball. And then last but not least, we got Nets versus Clippers. Interesting game
Another,
at the start.
yeah, I just gonna
Yeah,
say
like
another game.
it
All
was
these games kind
close,
of make the
close
same
like we
pattern.
predicted
Yeah.
in terms of how it would have ended, but
Hmm.
eventually close to the end, one team got away with it.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing that I stick with the team that I,
Yeah.
that I should have
You're
stick
right.
with because
Yeah, the guys do
it
kind
would
of
have been a
shabby.
big mistake. Yeah, yeah.
Where we had, well, me and you get two correct. Hakeem
Hmm.
only got one correct, which is the Celtics game. So a kind
Yeah.
of rough beat. Let me put it the what's it called? The leaderboard, so we can see who's in the lead right now.
Hmm.
Uh, there's only one man on top.
One man on top, buddy.
One man on top, boy. You're doing a great job, man. You can't dispute it. Can't
Well,
dispute it
it's
at all.
early in the season, man. Still a lot of basketball to play.
It's true.
The same thing that
It's
goes
very
for the
true.
players is the same thing that goes for
It's
the
for us, yeah,
predictors. So
man.
yeah, we'll
Well,
see how it plays
we can
out.
see how long you stand there coming though. I sniffing right behind you,
Nah, buddy, nah, buddy.
right
You
behind you,
you
man.
you can be trailing, I can be blazing. We left it at that. You can leave it at
Uh,
that. Yo, so people's that's our predictions from last week. But let me dive into like the meat of the discussion though. Let me talk about Utah Jazz. Like they've been playing good basketball. Actually, they've been playing great basketball so far. And
yeah, let me just say that part.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
good point to make.
yeah. Like we didn't think that they would be this good already in the season.
Correct.
Talk to us about the Utah Jazz and what you've seen so far from them and any shocks that you might have picked up from their play.
So the Utah Jazz coming into the season. Well, no, let me start with the off season.
Hmm.
Trading their two best players, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, and just getting by a bunch of guys that were role players as part of the teams that they would have come from. Some for the Timberwolves, some for the Cavaliers, and everybody's idea was that we know that this is the draft for Minyama, one of the I could say the most highly touted uh, NBA prospects I could say of all time, truthfully, and everybody's thinking, well, the Jazz probably aren't going to trade a win. They're just going to course along the season. Probably trade a lot of the players that would have gone from the other teams, said Timberwolves, said Cavaliers. To just get some picks and be in the tankathon for Victor Wembanyama. And the season began. And this I would call them group of misfits, guys with chips on their shoulders. You know, coming from a different team, kind of like castaways. Like we didn't want you guys, and they just found
Hmm.
a way to find some sort of unity in that, and come together
Yeah.
and produce
Everybody has something in
yeah,
common, I
yeah.
guess.
Everybody has something in common, pretty much. Uh, everybody was, oh, I come from a different team. They didn't really want me. I thought I would have stayed there. I would have wanted to be there, and look what happened. You know,
Hmm.
they found unity in that, came together and just playing beautiful basketball. Like I've heard a lot of persons in the media saying that is akin to the Spurs type of basketball. You know, just sharing the ball, passing the ball, and
Yeah.
watching their games myself. I you can't is undeniable. Truthfully, like
Hmm.
they don't have any star talent on their team. I would say whatsoever. Yes, there's Laurie Markkinen, as we will get him a little bit later, but Laurie Markkinen is who would be, in, I guess, in everyone's eye as the star player on the team, given his production and his scoring output and all the other things that he would bring. But the just selfish basketball all the way around,
Hmm.
smooth execution. Was more surprising too, though, to me is the defense. The
Right.
defense is, I think, is ranked. They have a top 10 defense. None of these men, none of them. I don't care what nobody tell me. Laurie Markkinen, Colin Sexton, what's he good name? With the long hair, Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley,
Hmm.
maybe. A lot of these guys on this team are not known for being defensive studs in any way, form, or fashion. The only guy that on the team that I would know coming from the Timberwolves would be
Hmm.
Jerry Vanderbilt, for example. He's the only one I could say that would be a plus defender or considered as
Right.
a plus defender. And these guys have a top 10 defense. Like, and as I said last week, defense is 60% effort, 40% skill. And
Yeah.
right now, I know that all those guys I just mentioned in reaching near the 40% in skill. But
Right.
again,
But the effort paying
the
off
effort there, the
as a
effort
team.
there, when you have people that are, once you have a cohesive unit, anything is possible. Truthfully,
Yeah.
truthfully, and they are
But
just the living embodiment of that right now in the NBA.
I mean, when you got people that don't have anything to prove to anybody else on the team, they could be selfless, right?
Exactly.
They could be free to share the basketball. Like, me nah, you get
Hmm.
it, boom, man, hit it. All right, you next time. You know what I mean? Like, so the sharing and things like that become easier. But when you have star players and then a bunch of other people
Hmm.
supporting that star player, then you start to see a lot of ball hogging, as we
Hmm.
would call it,
I
like
mean,
people holding on to the ball for long periods of time and just stalling the play.
yeah.
But we see it in I'm going to state where they will share the ball, like
Hmm.
passing, and that's attributing to their success so
Exactly.
far over the years. And if you could
Exactly.
get a team to do that, like the Jazz have been doing,
Hmm.
you're going to be successful.
Exactly. And the biggest question right now with the Jazz is it something that's sustainable or is it something that the general managers want to sustain? Because again, they were going
Mhm.
into the idea that they would be a rebuilding team. Well, let me just say that that's what everybody was presuming because we don't know.
Right,
We're in the office with these people, but
right.
a
That's what it
rebuilding
looked
team,
like from the
yeah,
outside.
yeah, breaking up, like a couple years of success with Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell in Utah, to kind of start anew to some extent. But I guess
Right.
a lot again, people didn't think that they would find a way to be this good, and I got shout out to the Utah coach because uh, understanding the outside image of what people may think that is going to happen, given the pieces that you have, I can say
Hmm.
that he really tried to bring the guys together, even despite the noise on the outside, and foster an environment where these guys could nurture and be successful, given whether their limitations in talent, wherever
Yeah.
they lack that, they probably make it up in scheme and heart, truthfully. And you got to shout out to Bill Hardy for the great job that he's been doing with the guys so far, truthfully.
Right. And again, to I guess reinforce that point that you made about sharing the ball,
Hmm.
they had 73 points created off of assists, and that's just to show you that like it's not just one man coming from one side of the court to the end and doing it all by himself, right?
Correct.
Everybody sharing the ball, so that's very good to see. 47% on corner trees. That's again sharing the basketball, making
Mm-hmm.
sure that it get out to the man that's free.
Yep.
So he got a good shot at the rim. So I don't know, man. Kudos to them. Playing good basketball. I hope them keep it up.
Yeah.
Keep the music going. People
I
love it.
yeah, and I wanted when you talking about the 3 point percentage, I feel like was underrated would have been their shooting.
Hmm.
They have a large number of 3 point shooters, and that's one of the things that are keeping them afloat. They are hitting their 3 point shots.
Right.
Malik Beasley, Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Kelly Olynyk. They got a bunch of Laurie Markkinen. Maybe he's not as good as he's been right now, but
Right.
been shooting lights up from three pretty much for the whole season so far, and that's kind of carrying their offense along with the excellent ball movement. Well, they're going in tandem because they still got
Right.
as I said, assist in an assist until the person made the shot. So um,
Exactly. Yeah.
so it's great basketball to see. I just excited to see if they will keep it up, and kind of push some of these teams that were expected to do a lot better further back in the standings and make things a little bit interesting. I know. I feel like Adam Silver probably smiling in his chair right now because I think he's a commissioner. I like to see some level of parity in the league
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
seeing like teams that you wouldn't expect upcoming. So is good for. I would say it's good for the basketball fan. Maybe not the casual fan because the
Yeah.
casual fans usually just know about the teams that are pretty popular, the Lakers, all that stuff.
Uh,
But
Exactly.
making room
Yeah.
for teams to get a little bit more known.
Agree. I agree with that. But you just made a point about teams not doing so well. I guess this is a good
A good
segue
segue.
and transition ain't to our next talking point, which is Timberwolves, a team that we thought with the trades that they had would have been a little bit better, at least by now. At least by now, having Gobert there, Carl Anthony still there. We would have expected something better, but numbers aren't showing.
As you know, this is a team that I spend the most time being consumed in the NBA world with because the team that
Mhm.
I support.
Right.
I don't know if I ever told this story about. Well, it's not really a story. It's just a thing that happened. I would call it. So,
Peoples, this man had a whole journey.
but no, man. Uh, coming from being a basketball player myself, I was always interested in trying to find out a way that I could watch basketball games and what's not. And
Right.
eventually online, you go online, you look, type in, searching how to watch NBA online for
Yeah, that
free,
was way
like
back then.
everybody, like everybody, and you find the sites that from the time you click on anything from the page, the ads popping up, all sorts of things
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
up on your screen, yeah. So I had my fair share of trying to go through these things, trying to find a team to pick, and at the time, I felt like at the Timberwolves at the time that would have been like 2014, no 2015, 2016. The end
Mhm.
of the 2014, 2015 into the beginning of the 2015, 2016 season.
Right.
I would have started supporting them because they had Andrew Wiggins, a young up and coming player that was looking like he had a promising future. Just got
Right.
Carl Anthony Towns in his second year of the season, averaging 24 points a game. Like, come on, these guys can only be destined for greatness after this.
Yeah.
And then after that, Jimmy Butler Jimmy Butler trade came. His year went was a whole set of confusion, a whole
Mhm.
set of disorientation, and the years went on. Cat got hurt in a couple of years after that for the 2 years straight. The team was pretty much a mess. You got Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels. I know we at this point last summer the trade for the thing. So we went through all of that. Just kind of
Mhm.
paraphrasing it in a quick way.
Yeah. I say he went
Yeah, a lot of pain, a lot of heart, a lot of
hard.
heartache. But no, above all else, despite the record or whatever the case may be, the Timberwolves came into the season with a lot of promise, with a lot of eyes on them, with a lot of anticipation, but anticipation of success. Let me put it in that
Hmm.
way. And
Yeah.
they just kind of melted. It feel like they melted under the pressure. A team from last year that was one of the greatest, I could say, not greatest surprises, but a team with great cohesion, a team with great camaraderie, and that camaraderie would
Hmm.
have propelled them into a position that nobody thought they would have been in last year. And to
Right.
come from that to this, a team that lacking effort, a team that lacking passion, a team that
Mhm.
isn't sharing the ball. When these are things that were the staple of what there was just last year, changing a couple players to get one guy has taken the heart and soul out of the team. Uh, Patrick Beverly and Jerry Vanderbilt, I could say
Mhm.
that they were the heart and soul of the team, and it's so evident that they're sorely missing. Kind of lighting that fire onto the team to get them to play
Right.
with heart and effort. A lot of these games, they play the Spurs, get beat by the Spurs twice. Yes, the Spurs would have started out the season a little bit hot. They were like they were like the old Spurs, truthfully sharing the ball a lot and were getting great
Right.
success from it. But the lack of effort, the lack of want to, the lack of drive that the Timberwolves showcase through this first set of games has been absolutely appalling. And I truthfully, I can't, I generally don't understand why that is the case. Why that is the case. But last year, Patrick Beverly would have talked about. We had a similar start to the season. The
Mhm.
Timberwolves started the season like 4-8 or 4-9, somewhere around there.
Mhm.
And I know there was this meeting with Patrick Beverly. Where he would have got sit down with the guys and say, all right, essentially determine the pecking order for the team, essentially. And
Right.
from that point on, there was steady progress throughout the season. And then as the year flipped, they just took off and started winning a bunch of games.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's what they need right now to get them right on the path, but I just feel like they're lacking that leadership, especially in the locker room. Carl Anthony Towns has continuously proven that he is not a great leader in that aspect,
Right.
galvanizing the team, getting them to come together in the best way. He just talks a lot to me, to be honest, and a lot of nothing,
Mhm.
and a lot less action, And I've been
Yeah.
able to actually sit down and watch his progression as a player and his approach, especially when it comes to speaking to the media, understanding like he doesn't really he don't have that it factor to be that leader, if you get what he's saying, that he should
Yeah.
or would need to be, especially in a time like this. I don't know if he would change that given the circumstances of their record and what's not right now.
Right.
But he just I don't know. He needs to find a way to be a stronger leader. I don't think that will happen because he's been in the league for so long right now, and if
Yeah.
he hasn't showcased the signs of it, then I don't see why he would showcase signs of it at
Everybody
this
not
stage in
built
his career.
for
Yeah,
leadership, man. Like
yeah,
he probably just want to lead on the court. He just probably want to play basketball and not really interested in getting guys riled up and ready to go play hard on the
yeah,
court.
yeah.
Like
I guess he needs to be the guy
he
that gets riled up by somebody
right
else.
exactly like he's one of those probably I'm not saying that he is
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
isn't, but he's probably one of those players that
Mhm.
feeds off of other people's
Mhm.
enthusiasm for the game, whether it be in a particular moment, for a particular run as it
Yeah.
relates to basketball.
Yeah.
You know, maybe when they're down and they're trying to get encouragement to hey, we gotta get some points on the board.
Yeah.
Like he's probably that guy, but to ditch it out, he yeah, and like you could tell from his demeanor on the court, like
Mhm.
he's not a guy that's gonna waste energy trying to get people riled up.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't think he's that guy, but
Mhm.
hey, I could be wrong.
Fair enough. But I just want, well, no, we sticking on the same, hey, just the energy around the team right now, and it's
Yeah,
always start with the two best players, or the best players on the team. And let me go with Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is a amicable guy. A lot of people like him, his personality and what's not, and
yeah.
I could understand why. But he too, there was a comment from him not too long ago, um, leading up to the Memphis game on Friday that they played. He was like, um,
That they also lost, but
yeah,
okay.
that they also lost. He was like, essentially saying, let's paraphrasing here, that the Memphis would be a team that brings the fight out of them. And in my head is just like, why would another team have to bring fight out of you if you're somebody that's saying that you
That's
want?
egos
Yeah,
talking.
you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're somebody that want to be great or want to see your team succeed or want to do better or
But
do
no
all these
matter
things,
what, you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Like,
Yeah.
no other team should have to bring the fight out of you. Yes, I may be looking at it too aggressively in terms of what I think it means, but I just think that those should not be the words coming out of his mouth. especially given how they've been playing. Like you gotta look for inspiration from a different team.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like, come on, man.
Because it kind of say that he knows that they haven't been
Yeah,
playing
yeah, and yeah, he is aware.
yeah,
If it's one thing about him,
with that energy.
he's very self-aware and is very willing to acknowledge. Well, this is such and such a problem. You understand?
Hmm. Correct.
But enough about the I guess the emotional aspect of the players in the locker room. Let me talk about the actual execution on the court. They look
Right.
like a team that have never played with each other
Which is an
in their
effect
life.
from
Yes,
there.
yeah, yeah. This stemming from that, but they are behaving like they're a team that never played with each other, especially the top three guys: Carl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and D'Angelo Russell specifically. Let me start with
Mhm.
D'Lo because he takes a lot of the blame for the reason why they've looked so bad. He's just been horrible at shooting the ball from since last year. Truthfully, like in the playoffs and just before the playoffs, he's absolutely atrocious. He's shooting like 30 something percent, like 35% from the field, not from three, not from anything like that, from the field.
Period.
Period. He is a matador on defense.
Hmm.
Anybody could just drive past him. Although I have seen glimpses of him actually trying and trying to stay with his man, but he's known along the league as not a great defender, and is
Corn.
and struggling to
May slick
struggling.
sign.
It's true, and is struggling to orchestrate the offense in a in a reasonable way. Yes, they're
Yeah.
incorporating a big piece in Rudy Gobert,
Right.
but even in the times where Rudy Gobert isn't on the floor, the other three players that were here before, the three star players that were here before, are on the floor. They look like they had never played with each other. I
Hmm.
I just don't understand it. Um, but again, D'Lo is making a lot of mistakes, turning over the ball a lot, making a lot of strange decisions. I don't know if you saw the clip the other night with him checking into the game, and he thought that he was coming in for the guy that was shooting him, but somebody already went to the bench, and the Timberwolves had to play defense, 5-on-4 defense. But while he was just standing there watching, I only realized after I ran into the play when the Suns hit a tree. That was, yeah, I think that was the Suns game from last week.
Hmm.
Like, absolutely embarrassing. On top of everything that's already going on.
Ridiculous. Yeah. No focus in the camp.
Exactly. So I don't know where their
Everybody just
concentration
going
is
through the
at. Yeah,
motions, I
exactly.
guess.
Anthony Edwards, another big problem in terms of pinning. His court vision is severely limited. And yes, you have to give him time to work with Rudy Gobert and what's not. But
Hmm.
come on, man. There's many times where he goes into isolation situation. When we talk about hogging the ball on the Timberwolves team, it's primarily Anthony Edwards that is doing it.
He's that guy for sure.
Yeah,
He's
I
that guy.
understand that you have the skills and the tools to get to the rim, etc., etc. But I just feel like his basketball IQ is limited, and I know he would
Hmm.
get better with reps. But given the situation, you got to kind of try to be more uh, smart with your decisions. And I heard Chuck on TNT say already that this team is not a smart basketball team, and every single game, especially for the season, they just continue to prove it to him.
Hmm.
And Anthony Edwards is one of the main culprits of it. He's still young though.
Right.
We gotta put that into consideration. He's still young, but some of the things I just feel like he isn't
Yeah,
learning from
but
his mistakes. You know?
was this a issue last year? That's another question.
Yes, yes.
But
Sometimes it was. Yes, sometimes it was. I can't say no.
yeah, but if now this is becoming a problem, then something switch up in the camp. Like what's going on with this team, with this guy,
Hmm.
that he has to think or believe that he has to hold the ball a little longer than before.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I
And
think it
that
all
comes back
started.
to the
Yeah,
point that
yeah.
you were making.
Hmm.
Like these guys are playing like they haven't played together before,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
It's like there's no trust
Right.
at all,
Exactly in
you
each
know?
other. Hmm.
Exactly. So yeah.
So like, there's no offensive flow at all. When Anthony Edwards has the ball on some possessions, yes, there's been games where he's averaged a pretty high assist, but again, overall for the season so far, he's been
Hmm.
one of the main ball stoppers that's stopping the wheels from turning in terms of getting the offense flowing. Defensively, both he and D'Lo have been, well, Anthony Edwards has been up and down. He's had his moments, he's had some good games, but D'Lo has just been, as I said, a matador. And I don't know how. I think the only solution for D'Lo's defensive problems is trading D'Lo at this point. I
Hmm.
don't think he's going to be any better a defender than he already is. Uh, quickly, let me just talk about Cat himself in terms of his play on the court.
Right.
Cat has been Cat started out the season a little bit shaky in the first two games, I would say, but kind of picked it up and has been the only real consistent player in terms of trying to actively seeking to move the ball and being a facilitator to some extent in most instances. That's just from my observation. Some people will say it otherwise. The
Mm-hmm.
main issue with Cat has been complaining to the refs and getting into foul trouble for a good period.
He actually fouled out in that
In
Grizzlies
the
game,
last
if I
game,
remember
yeah, yeah,
correctly.
he
Yeah,
did,
yeah,
he did,
yeah. That's true.
and I
That's
can
true. Good
say
point.
coming from the play in tournament last year, like
Yeah.
just seeing how he was behaving again like a child, this rubbed me the wrong way in terms of his mentality. Um,
Right. And
you
that
got
comes back to the
exactly
leader
the
thing.
leadership. You got to be stronger than that. You got to be able to keep it cool. But what I must say, so far for the season, there's been limited instances where he has been in that kind of you know radical behaving like throwing a tantrum type of way. I can say that he
Right.
has control that. Even in the same the games that he fought out to, I don't find that he was as expressive or as saying when he got the fouls. As typical you would like answer ref like what's going on, yada yada yada.
Right.
Does the things that happen, and he didn't really complain, which I could see that's some signs of growth. But at the end of the day, come on, you gotta be more smart. Again, stupid basketball team, sad to say at the moment,
Right.
picking up stupid fouls in stupid situations. Just to put a cap on this whole Timberwolves discussion, the defense, the whole point of getting Rudy Gobert, which is one of the best defensive players in the last decade, is to improve the team's defense.
Right.
So what the Timberwolves are doing, they're switching between schemes, right? So when Karl Anthony Towns is on the floor by himself, they switch to a different scheme. When Rudy Gobert is on the floor, they switch to a different scheme. And the
Right.
guys, and which is fair, the guys have been absolutely lost a lot in these switches, and
Mm-hmm.
generating a lot of open threes. If you go on any stats page right now, you can see that Timberwolves give it the most open 3 point shots to be specific. I think it's about 30 something a game. That's absolutely crazy. 30 something a
30
game?
something a game.
Yes. 30 something open 3 point shots. If you're going to look up those stats right now.
Better not do that with Golden State or with Jazz,
like,
because
any,
that could be a swift 70 something
yeah, it's
points.
a product of, the toggling. You got to remember to say, oh, all right, well, cat back in the game now, we got to switch how we play. And it just
Right.
mixing up the players and just leaving people wide open. And just the defense on the whole, they're just not getting out to the shooters as good as they could or should be because they're not playing with that effort as much as
Right.
they should be. They're getting eaten on screens.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Edwards specifically and D'Angelo Russell. The whole point of basketball, you want to disrupt the offense. That's the whole point of defense. And if you let in the initiators on offense for the other team game wherever they want, everything will go smoothly for the team. That's where they can also gain a lot of 3 point looks because they're breaking on the first man immediately, blowing
Mm-hmm.
blowing past D'Lo. And the errors getting to the screen, he can't get over the screen. The point guard or whoever is initiating for the other team is free to do whatever they want, and
Correct.
they have so much work to do to turn it around.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the season is still early, so anything can happen in terms of their flipping the switch and finding the chemistry that they need. But I think it goes deeper than
Wait
just
till
on the
after Christmas,
basketball.
I guess.
Yeah, maybe. By Christmas, you'll be able to tell what is the true vision of this team, or at
Mm-hmm.
least 20 games in.
Right.
But at this point, they look like one. I would say probably the worst team in the league to me. Even they're barely surviving off of talent. I would say if they didn't have the talent
Right.
that they had, they would be a definite bottom feeder right now. Um, and it doesn't look pretty.
Yeah. Good. Very good points. Very, very good looks on that team. I mean, it is your team, but at the same time, to give a good in depth, I guess, what you would call analysis
Yeah,
of the team and its woes and why they're doing really bad is good. I mean, you touch on everything. You touch
yeah,
on mentality, touch on leadership, touch on individual setbacks and how it affects the team. And then you talk about the team as a collective. So I gotta give you props, man. That's a good analysis and breakdown
thanks, man.
of what's been going on. We'll take a break right now. If you guys are enjoying the stream, don't forget hit that like button. We definitely do appreciate that. Follow us at Astro Bros on Instagram. We'll be back in a few minutes, people. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Astro World. We back again. We can dive right into the next topic, and this is discussing the jerseys, the outfits for this season. Last year we did this. Jerseys were meh. This year, jerseys were blah.
Come on,
Not really any better.
man. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, man. I think that's just it. We can when we
True,
do this exercise, we
true,
can see
but
that. So, so,
top five jerseys, right, Raymond? Top
so
five.
I went through. Yes, I went through all the jerseys. Take a look at them, and
Yes.
just rank out which I think was the top five from. Well, actually, the the top. Well, I don't know this how you would say it. The top five worst, and the top five, and the best jerseys. So we can start
Right.
with this. That's for the fun of it. We can start with the worst ones.
Yeah.
So
Let me start with the worst one.
with that one, I have the.
Houston.
You got Houston. That's what you say. That's what you have. I got the Pacers. I,
Okay.
I don't mind the Houston one, but the Pacers. Let me just put it on the screen. I did
Yes.
not. I don't fly with this at all. It looked like the jersey trying to wear a gold chain. I do not know what the hell is this. It probably represented something that we don't know, but Pacers is usually affiliated with like IndyCar racing and stuff like that. Maybe it has some sort of
Yeah.
reference to that, but it is.
Mhm.
It looked
Because
like
it's
it looked like one of those
Indiana, so
graphic tees that you would find in a store that you probably wouldn't buy. You know?
yeah, yeah, for sure. It got this gold embroidery
Yeah, like that's
list
so weird.
list type thing. Yeah,
That is so
I
weird.
I could agree with this. It looking like a tombstone on the front of
Yes,
a
almost,
shirt.
almost. That's probably the Pacers trying to say that they can bury the competition.
or be
Probably,
buried.
or be buried. But my next pick, this is in no specific order, by the way. I have the
Yeah, yeah.
Warriors. Uh, I just don't like the whole um image of the flower. That just throwing me off for some
My
reason, and it got like a gradient
nah,
to it. It just seemed weird. Like what if you could have do it and just leave out the bottom part with the whole flower in it. That just if you want to make it a
wait,
gradient into
wait.
yellow or gold. When I say the
Which
flower,
flower is the issue?
the actual like photo of a flower, anything. Not like, huh? Why would you want to do that on an
You mean
NBA
on the
jersey?
bottom of the
Yes, on the
shirt
bottom
or
of the
on
shirt.
the? Oh, okay, okay.
Like, why would you want to do that with it? That just seems so weird for me. And I guess it looks better when it's actually on the player, so you don't go see this stupid other thing at the
I
bottom.
mean, I like the concept. It look cool
Eh,
to me.
Go Rose, I get it, but come on, man. I feel like they could have done better, and I don't like the font style of the letters. Like it seems like completely contrary to what they have
Yeah,
in terms of the numbers. Complete the numbers and the
exactly.
letters on the words just seem totally contrary. Kind of weird.
Yup, yup. I
My
agree.
next
Numbers
worst
look
one,
weird too.
y-
Anyways, yeah, moving
yeah,
on.
my next worst is the Wolves, the Timberwolves.
Hmm.
I actually that would be my number one worst initially until I actually saw them on the players. They
Right.
and maybe this don't do them justice as much, but seeing them on the players does make a difference. But looking at it as an individual item, it just seemed like what the hell is this? Was it don't has any like striking thing to resonate with like what Minnesota or the Wolves or the whole like 10,000 lakes in Minnesota is associated with. If you know like the Minnesota like identity, it doesn't seem like it
Yeah.
identifies with anything in Minnesota. It just seems like somebody just take some parallelograms, change the colors, and slap them onto the thing, and put Minnesota on it. Literally, a very
My,
lackluster
mine's vice
jersey.
parallel grounds.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, come on, man. I feel like somebody could have come up with a better concept. I feel like the Timberwolves have a good enough like lore or good enough things that you could pull from to have a better concept for like the
Yeah.
city edition jerseys. Twin Cities, like, come on, do something with like Twin Towers. There's like some sort. I don't know, man. And there's always the
Yeah.
Wolves, of course. So
Exactly. Like
like,
do I was saying do something with the Wolves like
yeah.
last time.
And then I have the Pelicans. The Pelicans city edition jerseys are usually always trash. It's just like they just take two lines, put them in the middle of the shirt, and just change the colors to colors that represent New Orleans, which is
Yeah.
kind of poor, but I don't know why it just extremely lackluster. I hate to see them truthfully. One of my
And you
least
got
favorite jerseys.
Pelicans
But no, I ain't got
Detroit.
I ain't got any Detroit. I appreciate the fact that they actually tried to do something different. Change the color of it. Change the typical colors of
Yeah,
Detroit.
bro.
They put a little bit of stars on it. But at least it look like an NBA jersey. You understand? It look like something at least decent.
It looked like a sporting jersey, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah,
It look like
okay,
it's something
okay.
for a
Oh
sports
fair.
team. This
Yeah.
this New Orleans thing, yes, the cutout is a jersey, but I don't know, man. I just don't freak with it, man. It don't look good to me at all.
Yeah,
My
that's
last
fair. That's
worst one is the Kings. Sorry, Kings fans out there. I know everybody always
Sacramento. Oh my
yes throwing
god.
shit
What is
on the
this?
Kings team. I
There was
I don't know.
no sort of meeting, development meeting, design meeting,
They just
nothing
say
like
let's
that.
turn it gray, put some blue on the side, and call it a day. I don't
I
know.
keep it purple somewhere, some
Yeah,
purple highlights.
yeah.
Many even got the hanger purple
I don't know,
as
man. Just very underwhelming. Nothing more that I could see.
yeah,
And
no effort at all.
yes, going straight into the to my top five best city edition jerseys. I really like this Atlanta jersey. I like the font style. It gives me like a kind of cool like vintage vibe. I think which is what they're
Hmm.
going for. I like the little peach. That's part. I don't know what part of the Atlanta lore is about peach, but you can see here they're talking about peach tree. So they got the peach highlights and everything. It seemed cohesive, like the gradient on the numbers. That is a cool jersey. A jersey that I would want to wear.
Yeah, I mean
Celtics.
they could probably change the background color or something, but eh, Cause it look almost like a long dress that like girls wear at home or something. In
But
terms of the embroidery on the side, but
okay, fair enough. But I just feel
yeah,
like it's a decent jersey. Truthfully,
yeah.
Atlanta always seems to have pretty good jerseys. I would say
Hmm.
Celtics. A lot of people might not put the Celtics here, but I have to give the Celtics some props because every single year it has come up with the some of the worst jerseys to give the Celtics. I do not know why. I'm glad that they have this for a change, even though it is extremely simple, doesn't have much on it. They at least change the font style to something that looks kind of like in association with Celtics,
Right.
in some form of fashion. Yes, it doesn't have a lot going on, but I like the color. The colorway is a nice
Hmm.
colorway, kind of like it was something that you would see the Milwaukee Bucks kind of do also. Um,
It's a darker green
yeah,
though.
it's a
That's
darker
it.
green and it got that little
Yeah.
cream accent. I like that. And
Hmm.
then they have the Hornets. If the Hornets was a better team, like this has always got fire, or relatively fire, like court design and jersey design and what's not. I like the.
Yeah.
It's kind of a. It's not exactly pin straight, but it has like dashes. I just feel like they have a creative, jersey creation team or whatever it is.
Hornets is which one? The like
Charlotte.
the blue?
Yeah, this. So it's like black, gold, and like a kind of like a teal, like a
Oh,
light
okay.
teal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So and you got the Jordan logo on it, obviously, Michael Jordan team.
Hmm.
So that's cool. That's always set them apart. And my next favorite one is this Portland one. This is relatively simple, but it quite hard to me. I don't know. Uh, it just meshed well. Like you get the theme of it. The font styles go well together. I like the blue stripe across the slash, like kind of like a slash. Something
Hmm.
different that I haven't really seen. It has some sort of details on it, but I can't really make up what's the reason. Each of these jerseys have a like a story behind it,
Right.
and I don't know what it is, but it just looked cool. It's like something that I would relate to wear. And I guess
Portland.
maybe the color is what's standing out. A few teams are going with this kind of like this tealish color this year. The Spurs, you can see
Yeah.
here, almost Phoenix kind of doing it too. And then the
Yeah.
Raptors is my next.
Spurs one a bit light though, like real
Yeah,
light.
yeah, that's kind of like a starburst to me. It's like a starburst package. Um,
Like a bubblegum blue
yes,
or something.
yes. And
Yeah.
then I have the Raptors as my last pick. You can see the
Yeah.
Raptors here, very very
Simple and
simple,
clean.
simple and clean. Black and
Simple and
gold is
clean.
always work.
Yeah.
Look hard,
Simple and clean.
straight.
And it has a like a little texture
Little
in
text
there
in the
too.
background, yeah, which is it kind of I don't know how to explain it, but kind of looks like a I don't know
It's like
like
texture on the
yeah
number, so
yeah
it got like holes on the
yeah
number.
it's pretty
Then
cool
there's like a texture on the actual shirt, and then
yeah.
there's like a design texture for the color
So yeah, shout out to the
for the
Raptors.
black. So yeah, that
Always
one
doing a
clean
fire
for
jersey,
sure.
man. Always doing a fire
That one
jersey.
clean. Yeah. I guess we know where their money goes. So so, so that was good to see. But yeah, I mean some of them I disagree with,
Mhm.
but others it made sense. It made sense.
Got you, man.
New York kind of neutral. Yeah,
New York, yeah, New York. Just let it. It kind of look
I
like this.
agree.
They're regular jerseys to a certain extent. They just like invert the colors of where, invert where the colors are and stuff like that. Not too big.
Houston like they're about to play some baseball, so I understand why they're playing the way they're playing.
But it actually don't look that bad to me. I don't mind. I don't mind the paint straight. I just don't like that it's broken. I don't know if that's a part of the thing, but it don't look too horrible to me.
I mean,
But my
I like the
overall thoughts though.
colors. If they like left out the paint stripes,
Hmm.
I think the colors would have been cool. Like
Okay, fair
I could
enough.
see this blue and reddish thing going together.
Hmm.
Good, and then the Houston sound. Yeah, that would have looked cool just with that. But the paint stripes kind of spoil it for me.
Hmm.
But the colorway is fine. Colorway
Yeah,
is cool.
I think overall though for me it's just been a lackluster year for these city edition jerseys. Not a lot to
Mhm.
start about. A lot of them pretty basic. Like look at this Denver, that's so basic. Chicago, this look literally like their regular home jersey, their white jersey. I can't really
Yeah,
tell the difference. Like come on, man, put some work in it.
put some
Um,
effort.
I like the Cavaliers one. Actually, it has a little difference. It got a little goal. The
Yeah,
Clippers one, Milwaukee it does be kind of lackluster too. Pretty often, I don't know what is be the choices for their colorway. A few other
Portland went
ones. I like
went
Washington one
well with
also.
the yeah. I think Brooklyn went well with the font,
Yeah, they had
but
this before. That's why they didn't really rate it
but
because
it's
yeah,
yeah it's
it's unique, it's artistic.
yeah yeah.
But they had a
Yeah,
similar
no,
one a year or two back, so that's why they didn't really like put it in my thought. And it still looks nice though.
yeah. Detroit and Los Angeles, simple. Both of them. Actually, the Clippers one look a
Yeah,
little more
yeah, it looked good up close. But I
decorative.
actually watched the San Clippers game and they saw it on. It was like I can't even really tell that this is what's going on with this shirt. If you get what
Really,
I'm saying.
yeah. Which makes sense because
Yeah,
everything close to the
yeah,
letters, right?
correct.
You're not gonna
Hmm.
be able to see that like that. Miami is a little colorful too.
Yeah, I don't rate
Yeah,
Miami because it's put used by the same thing over and over and over. Truthfully,
yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Anyways, let me hop to our marquee matchups. Oh, looking like a good setup
a
game
good
right
week here.
here
Yeah,
for
boy.
a Swan Cows
Yeah,
versus Bucks. I go with Bucks though. Sorry.
that's fine. That's
Sorry.
fine. I going
I
Cavs.
mean,
I going Cavs straight off the
yeah,
rip. Cavs,
yeah. I go
Cavs
with
for the
Bucks.
win.
I mean, Cavs playing good basketball. Don't
Yep.
get me wrong. Donovan Mitchell playing good. Good, great support from Jarrett Allen and my guy Levert. From time I see that Pacers game and
Yeah.
Levert was my guy, but hopefully he could perform this game. Um, Next one, Suns. What game with? I give it Jazz. I can go to Jazz for this one.
That was I think that's a good pick.
Jazz this one.
Let me see. This one a little bit tricky.
It
I feel
it
like
could be tricky, but if Jazz continue with what they're doing,
yeah.
I think Jazz will come up
I
with
think
a
I can
little
go
bit.
with the
Anyways.
Jazz too also because they've been consistent doing what they're doing. I think Chris Paul out a bit for the he may be back for this game, who knows.
Mhm.
But I feel like the Jazz has more depth than the Suns at this point. Devin Booker will
More
have to have
cohesion.
a elite performance. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take about our prediction and go Suns. Hmm,
Looking
it's a tough
good.
one.
Either your boy Hunts could pull away or your boy
Again,
Rayvon could catch up.
I'm not thinking about that part. I just think
Hey
about it. I think about
people,
it.
hey
I think
people.
about it as it is for the team. Like literally, like
Yeah,
Devin Booker might go off in this game because I don't feel like
you
they have
hope.
anyone to like really put on Devin Booker to kind of stop him. Truthfully, and
Mm.
but that is dependent on whether Chris Paul is back, and I can't really tell. So I feel like I can go to Jazz on this one.
Wait, Jazz or
Yeah,
Suns?
I going Jazz.
Oh, he come back cross. He come back cross, people. That's cool. Come back over this side. Next one, Raptors at Atlanta. Is Siakam going to be back for this game?
I ain't got a clue. I doubt.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, so I going
Like
Atlanta straight off the rip.
I I think Siakam is that guy for the
Yeah,
Raptors
he
that
is.
like
He has been so far for the
brings
season.
everything together for the Raptors. He's a he's an ideal piece in their chess game.
Hmm.
Uh, since he's been out, the Raptors have dipped a little bit, which is understandable when you got a player that playing his role
Yeah.
like he is and being able to fill in where the team is lacking.
Hmm.
I think Raptors. Yeah, I don't know if they'll be able to beat Atlanta. I mean, they did beat Atlanta already, but that's when Siakam was healthy. Right? This is a tough one for me.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go with the Raptors, right? But
I don't think he can be there, but I just going
Atlanta,
I
it's
going
Atlanta
going
though.
Atlanta
Ain't got
off the
no
rip.
support. Yeah, like when Raptors don't really turn up either. If I had to put money on this, I would put $2 on Atlanta. There we go, Atlanta.
All right, easy.
Because I know it's possible that some of these players could go off. Like, yo,
Hmm.
I wish I had that clip with Scotty Barnes dunk over can't remember who they were playing.
Well, I must see this.
Yo, I'll share it with you.
All
I'll share
right,
it with
that
you.
easy,
But
that easy.
my guy went off on a crazy dunk. Anyways, let me transition into some F1. Some interesting things happen in Brazil. over the weekend in Sao Paulo at Interlagos Racing Circuit. I hope you guys got a chance to check it out. If you didn't, too bad. I'm going to spoil it for you right
Well,
now, or
spoil
you
it.
could just click off the video, anyways.
It's you spoil it.
Spoil it. So, let me start with the qualifying. Crazy qualifying outcome.
Clearly,
The
cause
weather always brings an interesting mix to the F1
hmm
weekend,
hmm
and that is exactly how it played out in getting Kevin Magnussen pole position.
no
No,
way, no
I
way,
mean,
nobody was seeing that for that day coming. Not at all.
no way, no way.
Not even
He
he.
was not. Yo, he was not near the pace of some of the other
Yeah.
guys, like during like free practice and stuff like that, right? But the thing that I think has captured really well was the opportunity of getting out there before the rain came,
hmm
because the rain was pretty much imminent.
hmm
But it is always something with weather radars that you can't really predict the exact time
Exactly.
rain is going to hit, right, in a particular area. Yes, you got the radars, you got a lot of technology there to tell you, but you don't know when the clouds are going to burst
hmm
and rain's going to come down. So
Exactly.
my boy Kevin Magnussen and Haas got out in the pit lane for qualifying three first,
hmm
got in his quit lap. After the quit lap, that was it. Rain came down, and it was over. But you also got to consider that he beat Max Verstappen on merit because he went faster than Max. Max
hmm
also had the opportunity to get in a quick lap,
Okay. Yeah.
but
Before the rain.
because he was out first, I think he had cleaner air to drive
Hmm
in. You
hmm
hear this term cleaner air
Yeah.
being thrown around in F1.
hmm
He had cleaner air and he was able to come out on top.
hmm
So kudos to Kevin Magnussen
Yeah.
and
Because
Haas.
yeah.
Is like one of those one in a million things that like people don't expect to happen but
Yeah.
happens anyway, and it's always good for history, you know.
Exactly.
So
And at
on
this
the other
point in the season
hand,
too, I would say having
yeah,
saying a little fresh, given Max's dominance through Red Bull's dominance
mhm,
through the season is exciting.
exactly.
hmm
But the thing is, you start off the weekend on a super high note,
hmm
and then you get to the race day and don't even get to complete one lap of the race. To me,
hmm
that's just
Yeah,
mind-boggling.
it's true.
When I was watching the race, I was like, how, how, like from pole
What are the
to
odds?
eighth after the
hmm
sprint race.
hmm
Okay, we understand all the faster cars are going to catch
Yeah.
him and pass him in the
hmm
race.
hmm
Fine, but then to come into the race starting in eighth position or so
hmm
to get taken out within less than 10 corners of the race out of a 15 corner race. So to me, that was like mind blowing. Like you start the day on a high, not the day, like the weekend on a high, and then it just gradually went rock bottom.
hmm
Anyways, the guy's got a pole to his name,
It's
so
true.
congrats to Kevin
Yeah, he was
Magnussen.
ecstatic. He was ecstatic about it. So
Bro, I would be too.
yeah, exactly.
In a Haas, in a
exactly.
Haas against Red Bulls, McLarens, Ferraris,
Mercedes.
Mercedes, bro, I would be in full jubilation if it were me. So again, congrats to him and Haas. I don't think is much of a selling point for Haas anyway. It's just like one of those one-off things
hmm
that kind of played in their favor, and they took full advantage of it and they reaped the rewards.
Yeah.
Ferrari, on the other hand, went and put on intermediates on a dry track on Charles Leclerc car. Didn't get it right again. So
Well, we talked about last week. We know that they can find a way to fumble the bike, and that has been their MO for the whole season. So
Ferrari,
what's different now?
Ferrari, get out of here. I
What is
mean,
different now?
they actually brought it back. I
I
would say in the race,
any race,
finishing
yeah.
yeah third and fourth
I
after
how
a crazy race start. Like so, I don't know if you watched the
I didn't
race.
get
I
to
don't
watch
know.
the race, but I get to look back at it. I didn't even get the highlights only come out as we start the stream. So,
Right, fair enough, fair
but
enough.
how comes the current get drive did wait he you want to say he come from a ways back to come back to fourth?
Yeah, yeah. But you see, driver of the day has like is from the fans,
Well, fair enough. Yeah.
fans vote,
In the
and
West.
a lot of people vote their favorite driver.
Mhm.
A lot of other people, like people who follow the sport hardcore like me,
Mhm.
tend to look at the race, see what happened in the race, and
Mhm.
then determine who's driver of the day.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. Charles is up top there for driver of the day.
Mhm.
From last place, dead last
Yeah.
to fourth.
Yes, that's crazy.
To me, that's mint.
Yeah,
That's on
exactly.
point. But we also got to consider events that happen in the race,
Yeah.
right? So I would say yellow card. Talking about yellow cards because I just say referee,
I got
but
you.
yellow
Mhm.
flags and red flags and those kind of race obstructions are the definition of racing
Mhm.
for F1.
Mhm.
Because once those things happen, there's always a twist in events. Anytime there's an incident, collision, weather change, anything like that happens, is always a change in events and is who could pull first blood that would benefit the most.
Mhm.
So considering the events, I would say Charles is definitely up there.
Mhm.
Um, I would also say I would say Verstappen, but not really. We can come back to Verstappen because it's something special that I want to talk
Mhm.
about
Mhm.
in relates in relations to Verstappen as it's not quite the tasteful tea,
Yeah.
but we can get there. Lewis had a great drive.
Mhm.
So Lewis is also up there for driver of the day.
Yeah, he
I don't
got
know
it.
who got
Yeah,
driver
he
of the
actually
day.
got it.
Oh,
Lewis got it.
Lewis? Yeah, so that's not a bad call. George, he started in pole,
Mhm.
ended in first.
Exactly.
So he drove well, but driver of the day is not
Yeah.
necessarily
Yeah.
maintaining a position. Driver of the day is like who coming through.
Yeah.
Alonso is also up
Yeah.
there for
Mhm.
driver of the day, in my
Yeah.
opinion. He had a cracking race,
Mhm.
overtook Perez like he stopped. So that's so that is pretty cool to see Fernando finishing
Fifth.
ahead of two Red
Yeah.
Bulls.
Mhm.
So that's good. Um, Lando Norris had a terrible time on his birthday.
Oh, today's
Sorry,
his birthday.
bro. I
That's
mean,
crazy.
yeah. I mean, he drove well enough to get a good top 10 position,
Mhm.
but the car just cut out on him, and these things happen in 2021.
Mhm.
So, I mean, 2022. So, tough luck. It didn't end the way he wanted it to end. Both McLarens didn't finish the race.
Mhm.
One based off of a silly decision over exuberant excited to get ahead of another driver. It was actually Daniel Ricciardo who took out Magnussen, and both
Mhm.
of them ended up out of the race.
Yeah, but
So,
bad prediction from me last week about Ricardo in the top 10.
well, he possibly could
Could
have
have been,
been
but he
if
never
it,
get a
but
chance.
like I said,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I said,
Yeah.
these things always have a twist in it, so you could never get it
Mhm.
exactly right unless it's perfect racing. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Because Matt started in second, ended up at the back of the pack as well, had to fight his way forward.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think Lewis is a good pick,
Reasonable
and
fan.
he got honorary citizenship in Brazil. I don't know how that's worked, but
That's when he's a legend, right?
right, I guess so. I mean, congrats. It's neither here nor there to the average person, but I mean, like to have that attached to your list of achievements
Mhm.
is a good thing.
Yep.
So, congrats, Lewis, man. Congrats for driver of the day as well. You don't get any points for driver of the day, but
But well,
yeah,
he might get points on the portal. So
Mercedes won too. Let
Mercedes
me
won
talk about
too, boy.
that, bro. A whole season passed,
It's
and
true.
Mercedes is
Can't
now
win.
back
Yeah.
in the seat.
Yeah.
No, it is looking like
Spicy.
told you
Yeah,
last. I
exactly.
told you last week. I want this three-way constructors battle between
Hmm.
Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes, and it's looking like it's going to heat up
Mm-hmm.
right at the end of the season, bro. So I excited for that. Can't wait for this, and I can't wait for next season.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to jump too far ahead though.
Yeah.
Let me get back
To your
into
wrist.
the race. Let me talk about Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen and his championship rival of 2021
Mm-hmm.
got into it again on track after the first corner leading into the second. No, looking at the incident that took place, we could argue that it was a racing incident. However, Lewis had the corner, and it would have been smart for Max to kind of pull out
Mm-hmm.
a little bit and just let Lewis by attacking in the next couple of corners or in the next lap. But that didn't happen. You know how Max and Lewis is. Elbows out. Whoever elbow get rubbed the hardest burns the most.
Mm-hmm.
And such did happen. But this time, I think he forced the issue a little bit, but Lewis could have given him some space. Didn't work out that way. Lewis, like I said, was all elbows out, and Max got burned. So he had to pit early, drop way down in the back of the pack early up in the race, had to spend some time in the pits. He also got a penalty for causing a collision, which I wouldn't entirely argue with, but I could see arguments as to why that really wasn't quote unquote fair to say and could have probably passed as a racing incident.
Mm-hmm.
All fairness there. Who cares, right? But then events happen. Max fight his way back up into the field, from 17th or 18th all the way up into 6th. And then close to the end of the race, there's this battle for second runner up in the championship between Sergio Perez, number 11, Charles Leclerc, number 16.
Mm-hmm.
We could hear on the radio both drivers begging their team for these points
Mm-hmm.
to edge out their competitor for the number 2 spot. No, the way it turned out, I'm quite fine with
Mm-hmm.
because no, they're equal on points and they gotta fight it out on track in the
Final
final
race.
race
Yeah, exactly.
next week. So that's epic. But let me talk about Ferrari's decision because both drivers had their teammates ahead of them, and both drivers were asking for their teammate to let them through so that they can gain the extra points.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I mean, you want to help out your teammate, but Ferrari's case, Carlos Sainz was on podium position. Podiums mean everything in F1. You want to keep your podium count going up.
Mm-hmm.
I could understand if he was like in 5th and Charles was in 6th, and he could let him pass because
Yeah.
the points don't really matter at
Yeah.
that
Or differ that much.
like
Mm-hmm.
interval,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. It doesn't really differ that much. So I could understand later down, in the pecking order. But that's a podium position. That's a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
He fighting with Lewis Hamilton like for 4th or something like that, or maybe George Russell. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
He want to get as much points as he can get as well, so that he can secure his spot in the drivers' championship. So it's a tough call for Ferrari to let Charles pass Carlos Sainz to rob him of his podium.
Mm-hmm.
That's understandable. It didn't happen, so it's fair on that side. Now we can move on to Red Bull. Bro, Max is ahead of Sergio Perez. Perez asked the team nicely, could I pass Max? Championship points are important. Cool, that's fair. I mean, the man give his heart and soul to help Max win his first championship. Max even acknowledged it. Checo's a legend for doing that. No, other things did play a part in his championship win,
Yeah.
but if not for Checo, things probably wouldn't have turned out that way. Anyway, we've also seen sometimes in numerous times, many races where Checo could fight Max on track. Max could work for the position, but due to team orders, Perez, let Max go. Cool. Boom. It's not fair, but okay, go ahead. I'll let it go. Many times Checo helped Max, but today In a situation where Matt's already got the championship, Red Bull already got the constructors championship on lock. Max is not going to win the race,
Exactly.
and a sixth place doesn't mean anything to him anyway. Why not ease up and let your teammate through for the
Exactly.
extra points,
Exactly.
giving him a better chance of
Yeah.
finishing second
Yes.
place
Behind you.
in the drivers'
Exactly.
championship?
Exactly.
That makes sense. That seems fair.
Mm-hmm.
After the man give you a whole trophy,
Exactly.
pour his heart and soul on the track for you, right? So everybody will say that's only fair. But if if you hear the passion of the radio comment that Max made after the team asked him to let Perez through, you'll be appalled. You'll be shocked. It's like, what? Max really thinks and feels that he's not, like, it's okay for him not to at least help Perez out in the championship fight for second place. I mean, the team does want to finish the championship 1-2. That would be mint.
Exactly.
To finish 1-2, you got the drivers, you got the constructors. That's everything there. That's
Exactly.
maximum, right?
Exactly.
And for him to like diss Perez like that, I don't think that does a
That's
good look
yeah. Exactly.
on
That's
Max.
bad sportsmanship.
I don't know what you
Straight.
think. You can share
You
your
know,
views on that.
bad sportsmanship. Like these are some of the things that they say that they, some of the great people that is indulging. Having a fire to always be on top. I think this is a line where it get across because at this point, as you say, you already secured the championship for yourself. Number one,
Hmm.
you don't got nothing to lose at this point, Max. Like this might help you through the whole season, and you can diss him out like that, but not let he get you on. And the thing about it is better for his team on a whole because, as you say, 1-2, 1-2 in the championship standings. How many times that ever
Hmm.
happened that both judges get to be 1-2? You know, like come on, man.
Correct.
That's just very totally unsportsman. Like, and as you say, is a terrible look on Max. And I know he ain't got a lot of media briefing, though he net as the days come on about it,
Hmm.
especially going into the next race.
Honestly though, if you really follow Max's attitude towards racing, it shouldn't be too
So
much
it's
of
a
a shock.
surprise,
Like,
yeah, fair enough.
I was shocked at the way he said what he said,
But no,
and
but
with
what he
such
said,
passion
yeah,
and conviction. Is like, okay, cool. You've made it clear you're not team player.
yeah,
You're number one. You're still number one, and you fight to be number one. So I think it's only fair now that the team apologize to Perez. Not like he's going to mean anything.
yeah,
Apologize to Perez for all the times that he helped Max, and let's go racing on
exactly,
track.
exactly. Full stop.
I want to see that.
Yeah,
No, he might not be as fast as Max. Let's
yeah,
say that
yeah,
for no, but at least he got all clears to go berserk
exactly.
next year and in Abu Dhabi for the finale.
That could
So
be good for
I want to see,
when that season come over for Drake to survive. That could be so much action go breaking that down.
bro. That is going to be the comment and the drama that pushes F1 up another level on the chart for viewership, especially in the states where media is
Yeah,
king.
it's king. Yeah, boy.
So hey, I looking forward to the draw, but this is not going to be good for the team
Yeah,
because this could mean potential accidents and incidents that can cost the team a lot of money.
yeah,
And at the end of the day, someone has to play the number two role. And if you can't beat Max on track, if you ain't fast enough, sorry, you still gotta go back to that number two role.
yeah,
Financially, the team gonna bring money for Max. So I mean, Max is gonna bring money for the team because he's that guy right now. Hey, we'll see how it play out. But interesting things all weekend long. Happy for George getting his
it's true.
first victory, his first dub. Emotional one for him. I know it's nothing like the first one. Like
It's true.
like I know. Never won a race,
Uh,
but I know what it feels like to win something for the first time
exactly.
anyway. So So it's a good look. That's it for Astro Bros this week, people. Let us know what you thought about the
Yes,
race. Let
sir.
us know what you thought about Max's comments and how would you play that if you were Sergio Perez? How would you up your game? But that's been it for Astro Bros this week. Hope you guys have a good one. Make sure to follow us on our social media page on Instagram at Astro Bros. And hopefully you can get some shorts for you guys coming out on YouTube
Yeah.
soon. We'll see how that goes as well. So yeah, take care, people. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Peace.